broadcasting live under the shimmering stars of Sedona, Arizona. UFO encounters, energy vortexes, the secrets of the Branch of Ranch, and spine-chilling paranormal tales. You are listening to the Mysteries of Sedona. And now your host, Dr. Claudette Lyons.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Mysteries of Sedona. And I am your host, Claudette Lyons, and we have our specialist here, paranormal expert Tom Dongo. I'm sure everybody is very familiar with Tom. And if you can listen for a moment in the background, possibly you'll hear some lovely wind, and you're going to hear the birds who are enchanting. We're under the beautiful blue skies of Sedona, Arizona, and our backdrop is Wilson Mountain, and it is just so beautiful here. Tom, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. It's great for me to be here, too.
Good. All right, let's start with our first question. I know we're all very excited to find out more. I understand that you did Vortex tours for the first 2 years that you were here in Sedona. Can you share a little bit about what was your experience?
Well, you know, I had some really fantastic experiences with hundreds and hundreds of people I took on these tours, and it was I had the opportunity to watch and see how the vortexes, and the vortexes are very real. There's a man named Benjamin Lonetree. He's a scientist, a real scientist, and he measured the energy to prove that the vortexes exist, and they do. So I this was a little bit later, after I'd been here a few years. He did that with his instruments, and he proved that the vortexes are real. I like to call them energy springs myself, because that's what it feels like to me. And so I was able to watch the reaction of a lot of people, and the strongest spot that I did tours to was the airport vortex, the strongest one. And I had a Japanese film crew there at 4 o'clock one morning. I'll never forget it. You know, it was 8 or 10 Japanese, and we got there early because we wanted to experience they wanted to film the vortex. And so they did, and so we had a heck of a good time. And then after that, I've had so many people on tour, so they affected women far more than men. And so once in a while a man would be affected, but not much. But the women, it was to the point of they feel it in their stomach and in their chest, and actually a few of them fainted in the vortex, actually fainted in the vortex. So, so I watched these people, and it was really, there are hundreds of vortexes. There are 4 that are tourist popular here: Bell Rock Airport, Cathedral, and I forget what but that's the known for. But there are actually hundreds, and so I had quite a time, quite a learning experience, and I love it. And I've been here. I lived in Sedona 38 years. I've been in Cottonwood now for 4 years, but the fun never ends. I mean, the novelty never ends here. There's always something new, you know. And I grew up in Maine, you know, in the east, and I would have gone crazy if I'd have gone back to Maine, because there's not really anything to do there, but there's endless stuff to do here. I mean, it's just endless. So, you know, it's been quite an experience for me all the way around.
It sounds so beautiful. I know I've had experiences at the airport Mesa. Me personally, I had lost time several times, and you were talking about how women seem to be affected more. I've heard so many people talk about the masculine and feminine energies of the vortex. Do you think maybe there's a little bit more feminine energy in the vortex here in
Well,
Sedona?
that's really a good question. You know, I hear that a lot, and I you know, I just feel it's energy. I mean, I don't inflow, outflow, right. Masculine, feminine. You know, it doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. Because it's provable energy, and it does affect people. That's as far as I'm concerned with it. But if you start getting it inflow, outflow, and in feminine and masculine, it really drive you nuts.
Yeah.
So just just accept them as they are. I've been to hundreds of the vortexes in the canyons when I was younger. I'm 80 years old now. It's a big difference. So, but it's been quite a trip, and I sure enjoyed the year, almost 2 years that I did vortex tours. I learned a lot to begin in Sedona, and I'm proud of it.
I'm sure you are. It's absolutely wonderful. Thank you for sharing. We're going to go to a quick break, everybody. Please join us when we come back. Thank you.
Explore the mysteries of Sedona, the World Bradshaw Ranch, a hotspot for supernatural tales, UFO sightings, and Old West intrigue. Immerse yourself in the breathtaking beauty of Sedona's hidden landscapes, far from the beaten path. Join Sedona Outback Tour. Book your tour at www.sedonaaoutbacktour.com.
Welcome back, everyone, and we are here in the mysteries of Sedona. I am your host, Claudette Lyons, and we are here with our paranormal expert, Tom Dongo. As you can hear the lovely birds, we are outside under the nice warm sun and the blue sky, and we are in front of Wilson Mountain, right outside in our live studio. Tom, let's get back into a few questions here. We're very curious. You had mentioned an unusual vortex experience with a Dr. Munson.
Yeah, that was really an experience. Dr. Munson was a medical doctor, and we got to be very good friends. And he used rocks to heal people.
Wow.
And it was the AMA okayed it. It was. And he did. That's how he did it. He made his practice. He'd been all over the world, going to energy areas, and these are the kind of novel things that I learned, in the years here. So how many medical doctors heal with rocks? But he did. He was very successful, and he would get these rocks from all over the world because he was extremely energy sensitive, extremely. So Dr. Munson would hire me. He paid me some really good money to do it. I'd take him every month. He would come from San Diego, and I would take him around to the energy areas I knew. Back then, I was the only one that knew about some of these areas, because there were so few people here, 35 years ago, that so I would take him to these places, and there was one. It's actually the Forest Service won't tell anybody what's back there, but it's the back of Long Canyon, which is about a 4-mile hike, and there's an Indian ruin up there by the bootleggers' caves.
Wow. Hardly
anybody knows about the bootleggers' caves, but I know where they are. And the bootlegger stuff, back in the 30s, the bootlegger actually, last time I was back there about 10 years ago, most of his stuff is still there. All his kettles, his clothes, his boots. I'm sure it's not there anymore because there's been so many people back there. But so the ruin, there's the Indian ruin high above the bootleggers' caves, and there was one spot, and he was dumbfounded at the energy in that Indian ruin. It's interesting because the Indians knew where to build their pueblos because of the energy. Because I've been to a lot that some people don't even know about, and the Indians knew. The ancient Indians, the Sanawas, knew, and they weren't Anasazi. The Anasazi were never here. That's a common misconception.
Okay.
But the Sanawas seemed to know where the energy spots were, so they built their pueblos on those energy spots. And Dr. Munson, I remember watching him standing there, and he said, I have been all over this planet, and I have never felt anything like this. I know the exact spot. And so that was quite an experience being with him, and he, at any rate, it was quite an experience because he would the enjoyment that he had when he get into one of these energy areas. I knew where they were. I can feel energy myself. I'm very sensitive to energy, so I found most of the spots. But he could fine tune it and find even more spots, that were super. So it was a heck of a learning experience for me. being with a medical doctor that healed with rocks, and he was very successful. He actually did do that. So he would soak up these energy areas, and he took some of the rocks back with him to San Diego to use. So it was quite an experience.
That's phenomenal. How long did you do that with him? Several years?
Probably about 13 months, overall. So it was quite a learning experience for me too. And we found spots that I didn't know about, and some of these this is kind of an interesting story. We watched two people disappear. They walked into this canyon and never came out. We tried to find them. And me and Dr. Munson, medical doctor, couldn't find them.
Wow.
The tracks were going in, but the people, we couldn't find the people. They couldn't have gone up. So we don't know, who were they,
Right.
So,
Explore the mysteries of Sedona, the World Bradshaw Ranch, a hotspot for supernatural tales, UFO sightings, and Old West intrigue. Immerse yourself in the breathtaking beauty of Sedona's hidden landscapes, far from the beaten path. Join Sedona Outback Tour. Book your tour at www.sedonautoutbacktour.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Mysteries of Sedona. I am your host, Claudette Lyons, and we are here with our paranormal expert, Tom Dongo. Of course, you can hear those amazing birds. We're under the blue sky in Sedona, Arizona. This is our live studio. Tom, another exciting question for you. You said you know of an event in connection with the vortexes and Anita Bryant, the founder of the whole vortex experience?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's quite a story. And there was another a man involved too, Virgil Armstrong. Virgil was in Europe. He was a famous speaker. Crowds. He was a hero in Germany. Crowds would come to hear him speak on spiritual subjects.
Wow.
So Virgil, or Posty Armstrong, same. He told me about this, and it's funny. I never met Anita Bryant. We traveled in the same circles, and I never met her. But I was here when the whole vortex thing started. Maybe a little bit earlier than me. It was probably after about 1980, and I was here for the harmonic convergence. I moved here a year before the harmonic convergence, so I was here for that too. Those were wild days back here in Sedona. So Virgil told me about a spot that Anita Bryant found. Now this is before all the vortex, the popular talk and the locations now, Cathedral Rock and the Airport and Bell and all that sort of thing. So Virgil told me about this spot this is what started the whole vortex thing. Anita Bryant found a place across from Bell Rock, and I never did get there. I was so busy at that time. But we called that mountain Apache Leap, and I don't know what the real name of it is, but there was a spot over there, and I found a couple of these spots myself. One in Boynton Canyon that was phenomenal, because I used to take tours there, and everybody that I had on the tour would be blown away by the energy, and it wasn't easy to get to them. It was a bit of a hike going up into the cliffs. But Virgil told me that Anita Bryant had discovered this spot, and he said, "You've got to experience it." So that was before the vortexes. She discovered the vortexes after that, and but that was the beginning of it, and I really regret that I never made it up to that spot that Anita Bryant found. And it's interesting. She and I traveled in the same circles, and I never met her, Anita Bryant. And then Dick Sutphin came along about the same time, and I was really envious of Dick Sutphin because he would have crowds. He'd do a talk on the vortexes, and he would have 400 or 500 people at $400 a head. So Dick Sutphin was extremely successful with the vortex talks that he did. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Where is Anita today?
I don't know. She was very overweight, so she probably not even here anymore.
Oh,
very overweight.
Interesting. Sounds like a really good memory still, Tom.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing with us. We're going to go to a quick break, everyone, and we'll be back soon.
Explore the mysteries of Sedona, the World Bradshaw Ranch, a hotspot for supernatural tales, UFO sightings, and Old West intrigue. Immerse yourself in the breathtaking beauty of Sedona's hidden landscapes, far from the beaten path. Join Sedona Outback Tour. Book your tour at www.sedonaaoutbacktour.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is the Mysteries of Sedona. I'm your host, Claudette Lyons, and I am here with our paranormal expert, Tom Dongo. We are in our live studio today. Maybe you can hear a little bit of the wind in the background. We're under the warm sun here, and we have a backdrop of Wilson Mountain. The birds are singing. It's absolutely beautiful. Tom, we have another question here. Do you know of any vortex healings?
Yeah, good question. Actually, I do. Actually, I know of many. But, you know, I used to get asked that a lot. I only know of one amazing physical healing. All the others were emotional. People came here with emotional problems and were healed. I know that for a fact. And most of them were women. Almost all of them were women. They would have serious emotional problems from somewhere, New York or wherever they were from, you know, Florida. And they would be in the vortex. And they'd because some of them I talked to them a couple of weeks later, and they were over their emotional problems. Some of these problems were serious. Mm-hmm. They were devastating emotional problems, right. And many people, mostly women, some men, were healed of emotional problems, emotional trauma. Mm-hmm. So there's evidence. There's something to the vortexes that are very healing. You know, I don't think anybody knows. I mean, there's a lot of people that try to know, but I think it's just more of a mystical thing, you know, that and that suits me. I don't have to scientifically analyze them at all. But yes, they so many emotional healings, and I only know of one, and it was dramatic. A physical healing. The woman was very sick. I can't remember what she had. But she went back home, and I think she wrote me a letter, because I don't think I called her, but she was, the disease or whatever she had was gone after she'd been in a vortex. Wow. So, yeah, vortexes are probably a natural healing thing that we should all understand and experience, you know, for the energy. And it probably recalibrates our physical energy back to being a healthy state.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
We encourage a lot of people when we're out on the trails with them that come to visit to be intentional with those ideas and those thoughts and never give up that hope, you know, because I agree with you, especially the emotional part.
Yeah, well, a positive attitude, you know, if they have a positive, you know, some people have such a negative attitude that they're never going to get any better. They go, oh, poor me this, poor me that, you know. But the ones that would have a positive, yes, I'm going to be healed, got healed. So you know, and I saw a lot of that. I had repeat customers, you know, that I kept track of for a long time. So I was able to. It's too bad I didn't categorize this stuff, but that's not me. I'm not one to scientifically analyze or categorize stuff. So it was an incredible learning experience for me, taking people into the vortexes.
I'm certain it is. Thank you so much, Tom. We appreciate you answering this great question. Very important for people to learn about this. Everybody, we're going to take a quick break. Come back. Thank you.
Explore the mysteries of Sedona, the World Bradshaw Ranch, a hotspot for supernatural tales, UFO sightings, and Old West intrigue. Immerse yourself in the breathtaking beauty of Sedona's hidden landscapes, far from the beaten path. Join Sedona Outback Tour. Book your tour at www.sedonaaoutbacktour.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Mysteries of Sedona. I am your host, Claudette Lyons, and you can hear the beautiful birds here. We are outside in our live studio in Sedona, Arizona. And if you haven't come here, please do come for a visit. It's beautiful. We're with our paranormal expert, and that is Tom Dongo. And we have a question for you, Tom. We're going to ask a really interesting question. Do the vortex, the energy from the vortex, does it affect plant life?
Yeah, it does. You know, in the manzanita trees back in the canyons, mm-hmm. I've been told that there's small manzanita and big ones, and some of them, the big ones are so big you can walk through them like trees, but the little ones are 3 or 4 feet high. But wherever the energy areas are, the manzanita bushes are trees. You can walk through them. There are not many places. You have to go way back in the canyons, and those are where the giant manzanita are. It's an amazing thing. The bright red bark on them, and so they affect the manzanitas, and they affect the alligator junipers and some others. They actually at there's some of the most noticeable ones are at the airport vortex. The trees twist. That's the claim that the energy that comes out of the ground twists, and it probably does because the trees twist. There's no other reason why, that a tree. It's the energy is twisting the tree. It's the explanation I've had from scientific people. So it's good enough for me, but they are kind of funny looking. They twist. I mean, really twist, and they're mostly noticeable in the vortex areas.
Wow, that's really interesting. I also wonder, the animals, I'm sure, they can feel it too.
Yeah, I've never thought about that, to tell you the truth. I never have. I never noticed any difference with the animals. But that's a good question. No, nobody's ever asked me that.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well, it's kind of difficult to ask the animals themselves too.
Yeah,
But I do wonder if sometimes you hear even on some of the nature documentaries that they're so smart they know where to go if they need a little healing. Maybe you never know. If sometimes they may gravitate towards some of those areas for a little extra healthy energy.
Actually, I've never noticed anything different with animals. And I've been to hundreds of vortexes in the canyons. When I was younger, I was always, just every day, out somewhere up on a mountain or in a canyon or exploring something. And there was a guy here. I can't remember his name now. He was a jeweler that made a lot of money, but he was a bushwhacker. Everybody called him a bushwhacker. And that guy discovered more Indian ruins and I went to a couple that he discovered, and actually there's one on the other side of Boynton Canyon hardly anybody knows about, but it's an enormous long ruin, and nobody knows about it. But he discovered it a long time ago, and the reason is because you have to go through Cat's Claw for about 50 yards or so, and we ended up just torn to pieces. Our clothes were shredded, and we had scratches all over us, but we did get to that ruin and experience it. But I'll never do it again. But it was a ruin that nobody knew about, and it was handy. It was on the other side of Boynton Canyon. So that's the kind of stuff that was, when I was younger, that was really fun, and that was an adventure.
Yeah, that is an adventure. Thank you, Tom. That was a really good question. Everybody, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back soon.
Explore the mysteries of Sedona, the World Bradshaw Ranch, a hotspot for supernatural tales, UFO sightings, and Old West intrigue. Immerse yourself in the breathtaking beauty of Sedona's hidden landscapes, far from the beaten path. Join Sedona Outback Tour. Book your tour at www.sedonaaoutbacktour.com.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. All right. We are with Tom Dongo, our paranormal expert, and we are here for our next question, Tom. In your opinion, from what you've witnessed and living here in Sedona, what is a vortex?
I studied because I was a tour guide for 23 years too. I had a tour company with another guy. We had vehicles, but I also did walking tours. So I had a great opportunity to study vortexes, and the proper term is vortexes, but everybody uses vortexes, so we'll use that. But I started calling them energy springs because that's the way they felt to me, like energy gushing out of the ground, like a water spring.
Right.
So they're called many different, inflow, outflow, masculine, feminine, and I don't care about that. I really don't. I know how they felt, So that's all that was important to me, and they feel like you can stand on like the airport. There's one spot in the airport vortex. It's like you're in a upflow of energy. You can feel it, and you can feel it penetrate your body, and that's good enough for me. So I call them. I was probably the first one to call them energy springs, and that's what they are to me. Energy springs, just like a water spring gushing out of the And like I say, I know of hundreds of them in the canyons, hundreds.
It's amazing. Now, I'm sure that there's some people that, maybe have a hard time believing that or knowing it. But my question would be, there's not a lot of people that live here in Sedona, but do you feel that the majority of people that do reside here would believe in them and in that energy?
Oh, there's a certain there's a segment of people who won't believe it.
Even if they're living here.
Yeah. No, I've run into it so many times now. I basically just, I can't deal with skeptics on anything. If someone is not open-minded enough to at least, inquire about it in their minds, I just don't. I don't have the time to try to explain it to them, and I run into that all the time. So, I would say there's probably 70% of the people here think it's a joke, the vortexes, unless they've experienced them like I have, firsthand. And so they're proof to me. I don't have to. And Benjamin Lone Tree, the scientist, he was able to measure the energy with scientific equipment. So that's good enough for me. I mean, that's proof enough for me that vortexes are real and they affect people.
Let's say that somebody's coming to visit Sedona and they just have a weekend and they said, Tom, which vortex should I go to? What would you suggest?
Well, like Boynton Canyon, where they think the vortex is, it isn't. It's in a different place. It's very hard to describe. But if anybody was, I would probably go to Bell Rock. Walk up near. I've had some amazing experiences on Bell Rock. I mean, phenomenal experiences when I first came here. So I would say Bell Rock. Just go up on the lower benches of Bell Rock and just sit there, and when it's nice, in the shade or a cool afternoon or something like that, and just kind of meditate and be neutral-minded, and let the energy affect you, and so that's what I would recommend, Bell Rock.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful place, isn't it? Yeah, I agree. Very powerful. Let's talk a little bit about some of the experiences, the paranormal experiences, also maybe around Bell Rock or really anywhere with some of the extraterrestrial.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I was living with a very pretty woman, and I lived with her and her boyfriend, and she was out complaining one day, I never see UFOs. Everybody sees UFOs but me, and so we were out on the balcony, and there was a ship, a physical ship, sitting right over the top of Bell Rock. And I said, well, look at that. And she was dumbfounded. And when she started looking at it, it flew off, just gradually flew off. But it was a physical ship, about 20 feet above Bell Rock. And then she was still kind of, I think the next day she was kind of bewildered by what she saw. And this thing, we live near, kind of near Bell Rock. You can see Bell Rock, and a UFO came right through, in view of probably 10,000 people, came right through, flew right in front of us, and then went into another canyon. And I said, "Are you satisfied now?" And she couldn't speak. She was just flabbergasted, and it was quite a sighting even for me. And I've seen hundreds of UFOs. So,
I have a question. This is Luca, the producer. You think, is there a connection between witnessing in Sedona of unidentified objects and maybe the vortex? There could be maybe a reason why they get close, maybe, I don't know, just an opinion, or feel energy or find the energy. What do you think?
Well, the popular opinion is that they're here, they're attracted to the magnetic energy. And these rocks are all red. It's rust. It's iron oxide. And somehow, the popular opinion is, and mine too, is that there's so much UFO and alien activity here, it has something to do with the magnetic energy. And near here is one of the most powerful spots. It's about 20 miles from here. It's one of the most powerful spots in North America, an energy, magnetic spot. So it's probably got something to do with the red rocks and the magnetic energy and the iron oxide.
What spot is that you're mentioning?
Well, it's near Prescott,
Okay.
and it's geologically, you can see it on a map. It's super powerful.
Really?
Yeah, it's about 5 miles close to us from Prescott. It's one of the most powerful magnetic spots in North America.
And what is it that causes it? Do you know? Like volcanic?
Yeah, geologically somebody could explain it, but I can't.
Sure.
There's a reason for it, But so this is a pretty magnetic area.
Wow.
Oh, I got one.
Tom, this has been such an exciting conversation. I know everyone listening is just taking it all in and enjoying it. And let's take a quick break, and we'll be back, everyone. Thank you.
Next one.
Explore the mysteries of Sedona, the World Bradshaw Ranch, a hotspot for supernatural tales, UFO sightings, and Old West intrigue. Immerse yourself in the breathtaking beauty of Sedona's hidden landscapes, far from the beaten path. Join Sedona Outback Tour. Book your tour at www.sedonaaoutbacktour.com.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Mysteries of Sedona. All right, we're here with Tom Dongo, our paranormal expert, and we have another question.
Mooney Canyon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mooney Canyon. Tell us, please.
This is one of the, I have run into creepy things around here. In Mooney Canyon, almost nobody knows about Mooney Canyon, but it's not far from here. It's not listed. It's listed, but it's not. There's no trails to it, there is a trail, but nobody knows it. Hardly anybody knows about it. But Mooney Canyon is a vortex spot in the very back of Mooney Canyon, and it's the creepiest place, one of the creepiest places I've ever been to. And I would say it's vortex energy, but it's a strange kind of vortex that I can't explain. But the very back of Mooney Canyon is a creepy place. In fact, it's so creepy. Somebody was camping there, and they got up in the middle of the night and just ran and never went back to the camp or their equipment.
Wow.
So it was all still there, and it's a back at the very back end of Mooney Canyon, and it goes right over from Mooney Canyon. It goes right over into Sycamore Canyon, which is that spot in Sycamore Canyon is another one of the strangest places on this planet. Basque sheep herders back in the 1800s refused to herd their sheep through Sycamore Canyon because too many giant hairy men were stealing their sheep.
Wow.
And it was in that spot. So I think the energy in the back of Mooney Canyon has something to do with Bigfoot. I really do.
Yeah, I was just going to say, not too many characters that we hear about big hairy men that could be stealing sheep.
The Basque sheep herders, that was their route from Prescott to Flagstaff was through Sycamore Canyon, and they said giant hairy man was stealing so many of the cattle they refused to herd their cattle through Sycamore Canyon again. So they found it. They built a different route around Sycamore Canyon through Loy Canyon to get to so they wouldn't have to deal with a giant hairy man, and that's the truth.
That's wild.
Yeah. Mooney
So
Canyon
is that
creepy.
Mooney Canyon that's out back almost in the Bradshaw Ranch area?
Yeah, it is.
Not too far off, right? If I recall.
Actually, it is. Yeah, it's in the general area of the actually, now that you mention it, it's very close to the Bradshaw Ranch. Less than half a mile, so it's close. But it's
Makes you wonder if some of that, whatever it may be, a wormhole or interdimensional window there, extends through.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of that talk about Bigfoot over there at Bradshaw Ranch as well.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
Well, I'm world famous for this. I have a unshakable curiosity, so I want to know about anything. And when I've spoken to about 100 million people now on worldwide radio, and I've said many times, I just want to know what the hell's going on, and I don't. People think I'm reckless, or when I was younger, I was reckless, and so I probably was, but I've never gotten hurt. I've been in places where nobody would go, but I've never been hurt.
I think you have company with people that are curious and want to know what may be really going on, don't you? Yeah. Maybe more today, too, than, 10, 15 years ago. What do you think? You think more people are more open-minded?
Well, it's different now. It's different than it was 10 years ago. It's changing, and the paranormal activity in Sedona is changing. It's not like it was 10 years ago and 20 years ago. It's different. So it's, it's something that I've written 8 books about mostly the strange things that happen in this area, Sedona and the Verde Valley. So I've been offered. I'm pushing 81 years old, and I've had offers to write 3 more books by literary agents on that kind of high strangeness activity here and in various places.
That's incredible, Tom. Well, we are so grateful for all of your information, for all of your explorations, all of your discoveries, and everything that you share with all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'd love for you to join us again next time on The Mysteries of Sedona.